Hey, Jungle-kun here. I don't think I've actually ever told anybody this, but I actually have this really crap passion for Yu-Gi-Oh. Um, so I decided I think it'd be best if I kind of did some tutorials about a couple of decks I have. So the first one I'm going to do is Dark World. Let's see. Now, Dark World decks, their effects have to do a lot about discarding cards to the graveyard in order for their effects to activate. Now, it only works if it's not being used as a cost. For example, something like Raigeki Break or Lightning Vortex, stuff like that. That's not going to work because of the fact that it requires the cost in order for its effect to activate. And like with the new problem-solving text, which honestly I don't really understand the problem-solving text that well, but like for Snoww, for example, you can kind of tell with the effect, with the semicolon, that can help you learn whether or not you can use it or not, apparently. So, alright. Now, like I said earlier, the way Dark World works is that you have to discard the cards to the graveyard in order for them to activate your effects. Now, the best card for this, hands down, is going to be Grapha, because his effect lets you destroy a card when you discard him to the graveyard, and then you can bounce any type of monster, bounce any Dark World monster, preferably Beiige, because his effect allows him to easily be summoned without special summoned without having to be normal summoned. Then you can just bounce him back and summon Grapha. So, in order for you to like start getting a decently consistent discarding engine, dry engine and stuff like that, it's two cards that are easily able to do this: Brron and the Gates of Dark World. Now, what Brron does is that it allows you to discard. It allows you to discard one card as soon as you inflict battle damage to your opponent. Stupid lights. That's better. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can discard one card. And what Gates does, it allows you once per turn to. All feed types gain 300 attack and defense, so your stuff gets stronger. He said you can banish one fiend in your graveyard to discard one fiend type monster, then draw a card. So, like, let's see. That sounds good. Alright, so, like, I can banish Sangan in my graveyard to discard a card from my hand, like Golld. Then you can special summon him with his effect, and then you can just draw one card. So it's really helpful, as it allows you to still gain an advantage while maintaining field presence too. If you discard a card that summons it from the graveyard. If you want draw power with Gates, you can use Broww, as he lets you draw a card with his discard effect, or two if you discard by your opponent's card effect, which doesn't really happen that often unless you do Dark World on Dark World or something. But anyway, so it's recommended that you have 3 copies of Grapha, 3 copies of Snoww, and 3 copies of Broww for draw power, destruction, and search. Because Snow's effect, because I haven't gone over hers yet, it lets you search for any Dark World card, even Gates, if you need that out. So it's really helpful if you don't have that out yet and you need some good draw power. It can even search for Graphas and stuff like that too if you need like to get rid of some pesky cards, like Macrocosmos and stuff like that, because Macrocosmos banishes monsters instead. So it's really good to get that out the way with like something like MST or something like that. And also more cards that you can use to aid in discarding cards is the Cheerful Coffin. because it just lets you discard 3 cards, 3 monster cards. And it's not really necessarily a cost because it says you can, as opposed to like you have to do it. Like so you don't have to do it, so it's not a cost. And for optional stuff, if you're trying to go for synchro, if you're trying to do like extra deck stuff, the best tuner for that is Fabled Raven. I don't have any copies of Fabled Raven because it costs too bloody much and I am not willing to spend money for it. But Fabled Raven, since it's a fiend and it allows you to discard cards to use Dark World effects, it's really helpful because it also helps you manipulate what level it can be at, the way you can easily summon stuff. And additionally, with like cards like Sillva and Golld, since they can special summon with their discard effects, you can easily like overlay them and summon a rank 5 XZ monster. Same with Beiige, like you can summon like rank 4 stuff. So that's kind of cool. Now in terms of optional stuff, there's a lot of good options you can use. Like Trance Archfiend is a good option because it lets you discard a card to let it get 500 attack, so you can activate effects that way. And another good addition, my 2 favorites, the one I actually use in my actual Dark World deck, Morphing Jar and Dark Arm Dragon. Now, Dark Arm Dragon, it requires you to have exactly 3 dark monsters in your graveyard for it to be summoned, which you can easily manipulate with discard effects and gates. And Morphing Jar lets you have both you and your opponent discard your entire hand in order to draw 5 cards, which is pretty much like card destruction, pretty much, but you get to draw a certain amount of cards, and if you discard Browws, you can draw even more cards that way. So that's really, really nice. So now we got into the monsters. So now let's go into spells and traps. I've already mentioned gates. Dark World dealings, you kind of have to have 3 of those, so let you just draw 1, discard 1. MSTs, those are really good for like stuff like Macrocosmos and the other one, Dimensional Fissure, that banish cards because they don't activate if they get banished. Card destruction, activate effects. This Burial is optional. If you don't go Dark Arm Dragon, don't run Burial. I just have it there to refuel Dark Arm's effect and Gates effect also. And Heavy Storms just to get rid of annoying junk. For traps, I went with Mind Crush because you can just say whatever card you want to and just discard a card. Dark Bribe, which is another way to get rid of annoying spells and traps. Transmigration is also optional. I just carry it because it's another way to manipulate my graveyard and stuff like that. Torrential just to get rid of annoying monsters, and Mirror Force for that same reason. So I will hope y'all enjoyed that little tutorial about Dark World cards. I'll put in my deck list in the description if you want to try it out for yourself. And I might do more of this stuff in the future. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, so I hope y'all enjoyed that little tutorial. I hope y'all helped y'all guys out, and I will catch y'all later. Peace.